Today we're going to talk about why I'll never do power building videos on this channel. Hello and welcome. I know it's been a couple of weeks. I was kind of busy with vacation, which wasn't vacation. It was more like doing waterproofing and concrete at my parents' house, 1,400 miles away. Then I got back and I've been messing with my 360 camera, trying to figure out what software I want to use to edit and all that kind of stuff. So I'm still in the process of working all the bugs out with that. And it's been raining out, so I didn't want to go outside and record. So I've had all kinds of things going on. Plus, I kind of wanted to take 2 weeks off. So now we're back to normal. I'm going to get a couple of videos actually recorded today, and we're going to start with this one. So let's talk about power building, why I think it's bad that power builds are put online. And we already know that I think power building is kind of a dick move when players do it at the table. But let's talk about why I'll never do it. As somebody who's played games like Magic and stuff like that, I've seen a lot of people who net deck. In other words, they're kind of too lazy to learn the game, even if it just comes down to learning a single color and see how it interacts in the game with other decks and colors, learn the rules as new cards come out. So what do? Instead of learning the game, they go to sites, they go, ooh, that deck looks cool that this guy's put up. Let's use that. And then they generally don't even know how to use the deck when they sit down at the table, which is a problem. My opinion is that copying a power build in D&D is the equivalent of net decking your deck for Magic. It's a cheeseball, lazy thing to do, and you shouldn't do it. Now, let's face it, Magic has tons of cards, almost 2 decades, maybe more, worth of rules and things that you can learn and lore, whereas 5th edition is a simple system. And that's really what we're talking about, 5th edition and Adventures League, because that's what I always talk about. But 5th edition, I've said before, should have the yellow cover with a buzz top guy on the front and say for dummies, because it is a super simple system. It's ridiculously simple. And honestly, the books aren't really that thick. If you compare to games like Pathfinder, 3.5, other volumes, other games that have massive amounts of information to just learn the basic system before you get into other books. I mean, a prime example is one we like to play, which is GURPS. It's got 2 huge books, close to 1,000 pages, just in the basic system. 5th edition is nothing like that. I mean, there's very little information for you to absorb. You have a few races in the player's handbook, basic classes, and you take it from there. Now, if you're too lazy to learn the rule system, it's not going to make you a better player downloading someone's build that they've thought up. And a lot of these builds that you see online, these dudes haven't even thought it up on their own. They're copying another guy and putting another guy, putting their own minor twist on it and calling it their own build. So it's a lot of cheese going around. The second reason I really don't like these power builds being brought to the table is, let's say whatever the flavor of the day that comes out, you start seeing a bunch of these things show up. I mean, it's possible. I've seen 2 or 3 people sit down at a table and you're like, do you have a character? They all pull out the same fucking power build. Starting at first level, they're the exact same class. I'm like, what's your plan with that? And then they all say the same thing. And I'm like, all right, you're probably going to die. Because the reality is, we still don't have a cleric at the table. We don't have an AoE character at the table. And y'all are doing the same power build. So I have to adjust for that, and you're going to die. And I don't see the fun in sitting down and having a group of players being the exact same character. And it's just cheesy as hell. Again, it's lazy too. So it's just one of those things. I think it's stupid. Learn the game. Now, the other reason that I don't like these power build videos, most of the power builds are not built around the Player's Handbook +1 rule. And since all the gaming that I do with 5th edition is always Adventures League, everyone that sits at the table has to live with those rules. Now, you look at these power builds, a lot of them will have magic items from the DMG that you need to get in order to make it work. You may need something from the Player's Handbook, maybe something from Sword Coast, maybe something from another book. You can't do that. In Adventures League, you're given the player's handbook, one other volume to pull something from for your class, whatever, and you don't get to use any other sources. So as they start building these characters out, they become illegal. And then the DM is obligated to say, that character can't be played, roll again, live by the player's handbook plus one rule, or you're not going to be able to play a character. So you don't want to be kicked off a table because you're not following the rules. The DM is not being a dick because we have rules we have to adhere to in order for your character to be legal. And let's face it, the real idea of Adventures League is you're going to generate a character, maybe take it to another store or even a convention, have a log of everything that you've done, and be able to play that character. Now, when you sit down and a DM knows what they're doing, they're going to see you've got this, this, and this, because they're going to ask for your character, they're going to ask for your log sheets, and they're going to be like, well, you got this from this book, and then the player's handbook. You can't play. And again, they're not being a dick. We have rules we have to live by. You're being the dick by expecting people to bend to what you want to do, and we don't have to do that. We can't do that. So don't put people in a position where they have to tell you you can't play your character. Play a character that's legal. Now, I know I've gone over before, but one of the main reasons I don't like power builds, and I was a power builder, and I stopped doing it because I would see how people looked and reacted at the table. I would see if I went in and one-shot the boss, I just ruined the play for everybody, and I decided not to be the fucking dick. And that's really what you're doing. If you're going in trying to build a character that one-shots everything or pumps out major amounts of damage, you're being the fucking dick. Don't do that. Build a character to have fun. Build a character that's useful in more than one situation, like dealing damage. Build a character that you can role play, and everyone at the table enjoys playing with, along with. So, don't do it. I despise power builders to the nth degree. I can't even say enough. So, essentially, you're never going to see me put power builds up. Yes, I power build from time to time, for game theory, stuff like that. If I let somebody run my table, I may tell them, I've got this build I want to experiment with. I'm going to sit down and play it. And you may need to bump the hit points up on whatever the boss is that you have here because I'm going to deal a fuck ton of damage. So I give the DM fair warning. And if they're like, well, let me see it, I'll tell them every place I got it from. And since I'm playing AL, I play within the rules. And I build from the player's handbook plus one, and I can still manage to build some characters that are just stupidly broken, but I try not to go crazy. And there are times where if I'm rolling and I'm critting and stuff like that, I'll just look at the DM and say I missed, because I want the other people to be able to do stuff at the table. I don't want to be the table dick, but if once I've sat down and seen that the character works, I'm going to take it and put it aside and never use it again. The other thing I'll never do is share my power builds with other people. One, I don't want to see them at other tables. It's mine. I thought it up. And really, you should be thinking up your own power builds. You should be learning how the different books interact, the different races, the different classes, the subclasses they come out with. Figure out how they interact with each other, and sometimes how two classes, when you multi-class, can interact with each other and make something awesome. And use this as a way to develop game theory and stuff like that for yourself. But, don't go crazy and don't go in and become the nuke at the table that ruins everybody's fun. I mean, my enjoyment comes from seeing what I can do with a character. I don't necessarily feel that I have to play that character because I don't need someone to validate, oh, your character's so awesome, because you're not going to hear that. You're going to hear, what the fuck? Because the boss battle's over, you just nuked the whole goddamn room. And you may even lose people at the table because you became the table dick. So don't do that. But I'll never put that stuff up because I don't want to be the guy that's creating more net decks for people who are too lazy to build their own characters to use. And they don't understand why or how the things work together. They're just like, oh, I know at this level, I do this, then I do this, then I do this, and then I get to do this. That's not understanding the game. That's being lazy. So don't do that. Nobody respects you as a player if you do that. You're just another net decker. Don't be another net decker. So that's it. I'm never going to put those kind of videos up. I may put up videos just like this saying how stupid I think it is if people do that or other things, but I'll never put something up that provides power builds for you to use. So if that's what you're looking for, that's not what the channel's about. But anyway, that's it for today. Rate, like, subscribe, thumbs down even, I don't care. But make sure you subscribe because I've got more content coming out. We're going to be more regular. We're going to say we took our Metamucil and we're going to be pooping out a lot of new content. So thanks again. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.